Live from Mmawa studios in Blantyre, we bring you the morning edition of MBC News with me, Ubile Kaisa. Coming up. Ministries of Health and Agriculture launch a joint 3-year project aimed at reducing microbial resistance in both humans and animals. People in the country urged to remain calm as government is doing everything possible to contain potential Ebola outbreak. And enterprises challenged to drive industrialization through value addition. And now the news in detail. Ministries of Health and Agriculture have launched a joint 3-year project aimed at reducing microbial resistance in both humans and animals. Experts from the two ministries say the initiative underscores the importance of patients adhering strictly to prescribed medical dosages to prevent antimicrobial resistance. Austin Fugula has compiled this report, being read in our studios by Beatrice Mwape.
Director of Public Health Emergency Response in the Ministry of Health and Sanitation, Dr. Mmawa, says based on research findings, people in the country are fond of taking antibiotics without being prescribed by doctors. This, she says, is a major contributing factor to microbial resistance, and statistics show that over 3,500 people die as a result of microbial resistance-related cases.
This project is there to make sure that as we are using our antimicrobials, we are using them appropriately, we are using them with backing, and we are not just using them anyhow, so that we safeguard their effectiveness. So the reason why we are working together with the animal health is that at times the antimicrobials that can be maybe misused on the animal health side can become ineffective or resistant in the human health population.
Director of Animal Health in the Ministry of Agriculture, Julius Chulu, adds that microbial resistance is also found in animals. He says some farmers administer antibiotics to their livestock without prescription of veterinary experts, which he says in the long run affects human health as well.
We want to tell Malawians, proper use of antibiotics, that you only need antibiotics when a doctor has prescribed it to you to use. Livestock farmers, when a veterinarian has prescribed that particular antibiotic for you to use. So we want Malawians to know that antibiotics are not food for animals. They are not food for humans. We want people to know they are only needed when there is a need for them.
Ministry of Health and Sanitation will implement the rationing antibiotics use in the treatment of bloodstream and urinary tract infection in patients treated in health facilities project in 6 districts. On the other hand, the Agricultural Ministry will start implementing a similar project in small and medium-scale poultry farms in central region districts of Dowa, Lilongwe and Mchinji. Officials say lessons learned will be used in the expansion of the project to other districts.
Government has reaffirmed its commitment to improving livelihoods through the implementation of various development projects across the country. Acting Principal Secretary for Economic Planning and Development, Sophie Kangoma, made the commitment in Lilongwe during the opening of a household economy analysis dissemination workshop. The analysis, conducted by the Malawi Vulnerability Assessment Committee, MVAC, in collaboration with World Vision, indicates that vulnerability remains a major concern in many households nationwide. Catherine Banda reports.
Household Economy Analysis, HEA, is a livelihood framework that determines whether the households have the food and cash they need to survive and invest in their children's well-being. The current Household Economy Analysis shows pressure on household livelihoods that is driven by climate shocks, erratic rainfall patterns, and declining productivity, among other factors. Acting Principal Secretary for Economic Planning and Development, who is also the chairperson for the Malawi Vulnerability Assessment Committee, MVAC, Sophie Kangoma, said the HEA is more than a methodology for food security analysis, but rather a livelihood framework that helps government to respond to matters beyond assumptions. She said climate adaptation programs, social protection programs, as well as the Constituency Development Fund, CDF, are part of interventions that government is working on to improve people's livelihoods.
We already have so many programs going on addressing the climate shocks, but also the social protection programs, they are there. And with the coming of the Constituency Development Fund, which is the planning, which is going to strengthen the planning from down upwards. It's really going to help a lot, because the communities do have the solutions themselves. They just need to be supported by government.
Meanwhile, Save the Children Country Director, Pekimpilo Kanye, said the outcomes are essential in shaping programs that respond positively to realities of livelihoods.
It is important that we get to understand the levels of vulnerabilities of our communities, depending on their geographies and where they are living, and the economy that is obtaining in those specific areas, and the whole ecosystem around which their livelihoods evolves. And therefore this helps us to do that mapping and have very specific areas and an understanding of the vulnerabilities of our communities based on their locations.
The Household Economy Analysis baseline was updated in 2014 and 2015, and several changes have taken place. Stakeholders say continued reliance on outdated information would weaken quality and relevance of vulnerability analysis and response. Catherine Banda, MPC News, Lilongwe.
Government has urged people in Nsanje to stop believing and spreading unverified information that can trigger mob justice. Minister of Information and Communication Technology, who is also government spokesperson, Shadrack Namalomba, made these remarks at Ntowe Ground in the district, where 5 cabinet ministers conducted an awareness campaign to dispel rumors of manhood disappearance that has led to the brutal killing of 8 innocent people. Simeon Boyce with the details in this report.
The high-level delegation included Minister of Homeland Security, Peter Mukito, Minister of Local Government, Ben Piri, Minister of Gender, Mary Navicha, and Deputy Minister of Homeland Security, Norman Hisare. Speaking at Ntowe Ground, where there was a football match involving Blue Eagles and Ndamela Select in Nsanje as part of the awareness campaign, Minister of Information Shadrack Namalomba urged communities to stop believing and spreading unverified information, warning that these rumors have triggered mob justice that has caused death of 8 people. On his part, Minister of Homeland Security Peter Mukito cautioned people against the use of social media and word of mouth to spread misinformation, saying if found, such people will be arrested. Malawi Police has deployed over 300 police officers in Nsanje and Chikwawa districts in order to bring peace and order. So far, 90 suspects have been arrested and they will appear before the court to answer murder charges soon. Simeon Boyce, MBC News, Nsanje.
Minister of Justice Charles Muhango has proposed a swift resolve in the land wrangles between Kawalazi Tea Estate and the community around the estate at Mzenga, where the 2 parties have been fighting since the year 2012. Muhango addressed the people and also took time to meet the company officials. In the end, proposed the need for a ministerial task force to fast-track the land wrangles at Kawalazi. Hassan P. reports.
The minister started his peacekeeping mission at Mzenga by visiting the residents of Mzenga community that share boundaries with Kawalazi Tea Estate in the area of T.A. Kabunduli in Nkarabe. The people accuse Kawalazi Tea Estate of taking the people's land by stretching the territory of their estate and in the process displacing the indigenous people in the area. On the other hand, Kawalazi Tea Estate officials state that the people have encroached the estate, taking over 2,500 hectares of land. Muhango therefore proposes that there should be a committee comprising ministers of land, justice, local government, labor and gender to resolve the matter.
We had the disputes, most of the disputes around land, employment, labor, between the Kawalazi Tea Estate, Macadamia Estate, and the communities surrounding have crossed the estate to come here. You have to cross the state to reach here.
Senior Chief Kabunduli expressed worry that the disagreement between the company and the people has resulted into over 20 people being arrested and are serving various sentences in prisons. The people, through their chief, are asking the company to stop harassing and intimidating people, saying the two parties are supposed to be coexisting. Chief Executive Officer for Tea Association of Malawi, Tonda Chinangwa, said the company has heard what the Minister of Justice is proposing and will engage in a serious dialogue with the community to resolve the matter.
I think from us as an association, the ones that represent the state, there is no state without the communities, and there will be no communities without the state. Where we are here, if you check, the community provides labor, which is about 3,800 employees that they need here. They come from the community. But also the surrounding communities, the economy depends on the state in terms of the business which they generate. So these two entities cannot live without the other. Therefore, we are quite pleased with the suggestion that has been made by the Honorable Minister that we find a workable solution.
Covering over 8,000 hectares of land in Tea Bunduli in Nkatabe district, Kawala's tea estate produces tea, macadamia and other cash crops. Hassan Piri, MBC News, Nkatabe.
People in the country have been urged to remain calm as government is doing everything possible to contain potential Ebola outbreak. This comes following reports of the Ebola outbreak, which has killed many people in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Charles Pensulo reports.
At least 130 deaths have been reported in an Ebola outbreak in the Democratic Republic of Congo, with more than 500 suspected cases. Reports also indicate that there are 2 confirmed cases and 1 death in Uganda. The World Health Organization, WHO, has declared the outbreak of the current strain of Ebola, which is caused by the Bundibugyo, an international emergency. The development has brought fear among people, mostly in African countries, including Malawi. However, Head of Health Promotion Division in the Ministry of Health in Malawi, Mavuto Thomas, gives hope to people in the country, saying measures have already been put in place to contain the possible outbreak.
We have also intensified screening in the points of entry, including the airport. As you are aware that we also have a direct flight to Kampala, as Uganda is one of the countries that have been affected. The nation has to become, the Ministry of Health is in the process of ensuring that we detect as early as possible, we screen people that are coming in, and also to respond to a possible threat. We have plans that are already there that have just been reviewed to the current situation.
While commending government for its preparedness, Malawi's health expert Maziko Matemba has called for frequent updates from the government so that people in the country are aware of the status of the outbreak.
Ministry of Health and Government need to be updating the community and also the country as it has been. We have seen that government initiated a mechanism, a dashboard, where it indicates any threats. But also what is most important is to have more capacity building orientations with our frontline health workers who are working in new hotspots like in the borders and also other areas which might be seen to be a threat.
Ebola is a rare but severe and often fatal illness in humans, which is caused by a group of viruses. The virus damages blood vessels, causes internal and external bleeding, and leads to multiple organ failure. It is considered curable provided patients seek medical care early. Ebola disease was first discovered in the Democratic Republic of Congo in 1976, and this is the 17th outbreak in that country. Meanwhile, the World Health Organization says it could take up to 9 months before a vaccine against this particular species of Ebola is ready. Charles Pensulo, MBC News, Blantyre.
You're watching MBC News. A reminder of our top stories. Ministries of Health and Agriculture launch a joint 3-year project aimed at reducing microbial resistance in both humans and animals. People in the country urged to remain calm as government is doing everything possible to contain potential Ebola outbreak. And enterprises challenged to drive industrialization through value addition. Welcome back. In business news, local enterprises have been challenged to enhance value addition towards increasing industrialization for economic growth. Minister of Industrialization, Business, Trade and Tourism, Simon Itai, made the call during the official opening of the 36th International Trade Fair in Blantyre. Details in this report.
Before officially opening the fair, the minister toured pavilions from which he noted existing potential in value addition, which he described as vital for Malawi's economic transformation. Itai, however, expressed concern over continued export of raw materials, which he emphasized is stifling economic growth, hence the need for the private sector to invest in value addition.
We are currently exporting items, and most of the items that we are exporting, they are the traditional products and some new products, but most of them are raw. We are exporting raw materials. We are saying let's try to value add by using corporate societies that we have and that we can create, and also by looking at the small and medium entrepreneurs that are already here. By looking at the value addition and trying to assist the small and medium entrepreneurs, we may be able, once again, to import substitute, export where possible, and save our forex.
Newly elected president of the Malawi Confederation of Chambers of Commerce and Industry, MCCCI, Ronald Ngwira, has since emphasized that the chamber remains committed to working with the government on promoting policies that foster a conducive business environment for private sector growth.
We are looking forward to a lot of participation, striking quite a lot of deals. So whether they are small, whether they're medium, or whether they're large, people that are coming to present their things, we're hoping that it'll be quite advantageous. There will be a lot of connections, a lot of trade deals being done. So we welcome the new minister's push and drive. We'll open it with open arms, whether it's the export processing zones, the special economic zones, whether it's just the policy alignment. But ultimately, as the chamber, we hope to be the voice of the business. We hope to work together with the ministry.
This year's fair is being held under the theme promoting economic stability through enhanced production and industrialization. The theme resonates with government's economic recovery agenda, which among others is pushing for industrialization of the country towards job creation, forex generation and wealth creation. Elin Jumoyo, MBC News, Blantyre.
Still in business, the Parliamentary Committee on Agriculture says it will meet tobacco buying companies over the persistent high rejection rate at the auction floors next week. Chairperson for the committee, Anthony Kamoto, said this after the committee toured Limbi auction floors in Blantyre. Our reporter, George Banda, has the details.
This year's tobacco marketing season has faced some challenges. Among them is high rate of rejection by tobacco buyers. In almost all the country's main auction floors, they have recorded a high rate of rejection, a situation which has affected a lot of farmers.
In trying to address the challenges, the Parliamentary Committee on Agriculture on Thursday visited the Limbe auction floors. Chairperson for the committee, Anthony Kamoto, said starting from next week, they will engage tobacco buying companies on the same.
The major concern is the price, which as Parliament we are taking it very seriously. You know, farmers everywhere would want to benefit from their sweat, but it looks like we have had problems. We were in a meeting with the buyer, with the growers, representatives of the associations, Tobacco Control Commission, the Ministry of Agriculture. So we have agreed on a few points moving forward. We want to engage the buyers. The Tobacco Control Commission, we have instructed them to say engage the buyers. We also engage them to say where is the problem.
In his remarks, board chairperson for Tobacco Commission, Reverend Daniel Gunya, said they are treating the matter with urgency.
First, we have to make itinerary and write them formally. Then they have to respond and give us appropriate time that we can meet. But we have said it is an urgent matter, so a week will suffice. We anticipate that when we meet the buyers, there will be a slight change in terms of the volume and the minimum price that they will be able to offer to farmers. We are hopefully slowly but surely progress will be there by the end of the day.
The average price of buying tobacco this year remains at $2.12, which is almost 3,712 kwacha per kilogram. It remains to be seen if all stakeholders, both government, farmers, and tobacco buyers will engage, at least on the average price. George Banda, MBC News, Limbe Auction Flows, Blantyre.
In international news, in a bid to boost Africa's oil supplies, Nigerian businessman Aliko Dangote is planning to open a refinery in East Africa. Dangote said the plant will help reduce Africa's reliance on fuel from Middle East, which has caused problems in the region due to the closure of the Strait of Hormuz. Telson Magombo with the report.
According to Dangote Group, the location is on the table between Tanga in Tanzania or Mombasa in Kenya. If constructed, the project will produce over 100 million liters of petroleum products per day, which is enough to supply the whole eastern part of Africa and export the remainder. Analysts say the refinery would reshape the region's energy future, potentially lowering fuel costs and creating thousands of jobs in the region. At the moment, Dangote has been to Tanzania as well as Kenya to discuss with these countries on the plan for the project. Telson Magombo, MBC News.
Well, that item concludes this edition of MBC News. But before we leave, here is a reminder of our top stories. Ministries of Health and Agriculture launch a joint 3-year project aimed at reducing microbial resistance in both humans and animals. People in the country urged to remain calm as government is doing everything possible to contain potential Ebola outbreak. And enterprises challenged to drive industrialization through value addition. For live news updates, visit our digital platforms by scanning the QR code at the top right corner of your TV screen. You are with me, Obile Kaisa. Thanks for watching. Have a lovely day.